viewers, and welcome to the GonzoEwok channel. We're today going to be playing a little bit more of Kerbal Space Program, or as we call it around these parts, Geordie Space Program. I am Chief Engineer of the Geordie Space Program, Gonzo.
And I am the pilot, Ewok.
So, let's get the game up and started then, do you reckon?
Absolutely.
I think, as we're kind of doing that as well, it's probably worth just recapping on a little incident that occurred in our last video. Not sure if you've seen it, and if you haven't, you should definitely go and watch it.
Spoiler alert.
We got to the fucking moon!
No, well, we didn't just get to the moon, we got to the moon and we got back again.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't got much more to say than that, really. I was going to build that up to be something amazing in my head. I was going to go into a lovely kind of Shakespearean monologue.
Well, there's a flag on the moon. Huh? A flag on the moon. Set on 12 hours, 4 minutes into day 2. And there's a flag on Kerbal. Set a few hours later.
And I'll be honest, when we were going across there, the mission wasn't complete plain sailing. It was a little bit touch and go when we got there, but I think we did a perfect job.
That was all down to the piloting skill, really, I think.
I do quite happily withdraw. I know that you went on kind of a ballistic trajectory and aimed yourself at the moon as you always do, and you pulled it off. You know, hats off to you. I'm not wearing a hat, but if I was. Next thing that we should look at here, obviously, we've got the tech tree up.
Yeah,
look
we've
at
got
that science.
353 science, so we've got a fuckload of science. So I think we're going to spend it.
Yep.
And we're going to get some sexy new components, and then we're going to build a sexy new spacecraft.
And then get those sexy components up into space.
Absolutely. So here's where I'm going to drop it on you a bit, and give you a little bit of surprise. You might want to move the coffee cup, because I'm going to pass over to you the mouse and the keyboard, because your role as chief engineer has definitely expanded beyond the advice. So I'm going to have you choose what we're going to unlock on the science tree. I'm going to have you build the rocket, and then I'm going to take over and jump in the pilot seat. How about that?
Alright, and that sounds like a lot of work, and it sounds as though I'm going to have to move as well, so you'll have to forgive this little bit of shuffling going on.
There is the mouse and keyboard on the tray.
Now, despite me complaining and saying that there was going to be some mutiny in the previous episodes, I didn't actually think you would go for it, and this isn't something that we pre-planned either, so thank you very fucking much, Ewok. So let's have a bit of a look, see what we've got here. Flight control. I like these little Mark 1 cockpits. They don't do any good, I just like the look of them.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the last episode, that you like them, although they aren't particularly... I mean, why don't we get that anyway, because that's further down on the tech tree, and it's only going to cost 45, and we've got 353 to play with.
Well, let's just have a quick review of what we can actually get our hands on here. Big engines. Big old engines. I've tried experimenting with those in my own career mode back at my place, and I'm not having much success with them. But I know
it doesn't have a huge amount of max thrust. It's 220. I think the smaller engines, the big one's 215. So it's a tiny bit more thrust. But you think about how much more weight you're going to be carrying using a big one like that.
It carries a lot of fuel as well, but it weighs a friggin' ton. So
I think that's probably better for sort of in orbit movement, rather than trying to get you into space.
I think the other side of things is I know that'll help to get the nice big beefy engines as well, sort of like the the skippers on the mainsails or whatever they are, and I think longer term that's definitely going to be a doer. RCS fuel lines could be a good way forward. Even wussier engines than the wussier engine we've got at the minute.
I've never used fuel lines before. I imagine they could be useful. If you know what you're doing with them.
I've got a basic understanding of them. What have we got here? Advanced construction, a couple of adapters. There we go.
So we've got new decouplers. We've got the adapters so you can stick the bigger bits on.
Yeah. And
the large decoupler. I mean, they're going to be useful, I think. Next. How much are these each? They're 90 each, so we can afford...
Maybe we can get a fair few bits and pieces, yeah. This is probably more for like space plane stuff. I'm definitely wanting to see if I can help design some sort of nifty little space plane. Don't know quite what we'll do with it after we've kind of been around quite a bit of Kerbal, but I would like to see if we can do it just for the design challenge.
It can be a fuel efficient way of getting something into orbit.
Do you like the idea of getting the old panels?
I like them as well.
Lights is always a bonus. I think in a couple of our near misses trying to land, I think we've had issues with having to come down on the dark side of the planet. That might be quite useful.
But rechargeable batteries with solar panels will be very useful if we want to do things like rovers or satellites and things like that.
Now, holy shit, we're just about getting to the point where we can get our hands on
Okay.
ladders.
Given how much effort it took to get back into the spacecraft from landing on the Moon, I think ladders are useful. I also don't know what the gravity is going to be like on Minmus, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use the jetpack to get back in. I mean, it's small, so I presume, unless it's particularly dense, it should be less than the Moon.
I think it does have less gravity than the Moon. I've only been there the once in my own playthrough.
So landers would be handy.
Yeah.
Ladders.
Ladders, yeah. I mean, I think really what we've kind of built it up to in my head is that ladders are a sign of success.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember our earliest days reaching for the stars, we said one day we might invent a ladder, and we're on the cusp of that. I think that's definitely worth getting. Lastly, we can get little legs, and we can get some sort of landing gears.
Okay.
Don't
well,
think that's particularly important for them.
the one that had the cockpit on there. I mean, we should buy that because it's the one on the last rung of the tech tree. We should get that because it's cheap and it's going to unlock
other bits
as well. So
that gives us something else to look at, actually.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I meant. So what's that give us?
Okay, more of the same, really.
More of the same. Well, I shall leave it up to you. Don't take too long though. People are waiting to see how on you rocket.
Okay then. Right. I think I'm quite liking the idea of having RCS, just to make it a little bit. We have struggled with control in space, so I think getting some RCS will probably be quite useful. The steering of the ship. So I'm up for that. We're getting that.
Okay, I've got enough for two more.
Two more. Don't really want those, but I'm kind of
don't want them, but it's going to unlock
the
sexier
next
stuff
stage.
next.
Although I don't think we can afford the next stage after
we can't.
buy
But
these.
we've got to get there eventually.
Let's just have a quick spy through. Not really bothered about space planes. Yeah, we're getting the electrics for definite.
Well, we've had a problem with the electrics before, so it's probably a good way to go.
This would give them more solar panels and bigger batteries. Could be quite snazzy. Get some. We can get even better ladders coming on leaps and fucking bounds here. But we'll also get the barometer. I'm thinking maybe getting something that'll give us some more scientific equipment we can take with us. That might not be a bad idea.
I wouldn't know if there is any more scientific equipment.
The thermometer.
Is that
temperature readings?
And that gets you science. So
yep.
That's an experiment. Ooh.
And likewise, we had that barometer there as well.
I'd say go for the thermometer if it gets us science and ladders.
And we can afford it. Yeah, we've got to get the ladders.
And a mobile processing lab.
Weighs quite heavy. I'm thinking as
is
well.
That also you just use it to get science?
Yeah, and I think you can then process the science that you collect up in space and then beam it back. I think I've never really kind of experimented with it properly before.
We'll learn.
Okay, right, we're getting that. So 38 science in the bank. Let's go straight across to the old VAB.
Okay, build me a ship to take me to Minmus.
Right. Okay then. So. That's a bit strange. Does your... Oh, I've got to pick something, haven't I?
Yes, you do.
It's been a while since I've been on the controls while we're recording. Now, I'm going to take, obviously, the nice kick-ass pointy bit, because I like the look of it.
It's good to know that you're thinking about this purely from an engineering standpoint.
Alrighty. Get a couple of the old radials on the side here. Parachutes.
Just the two?
I think so on this little bit, yeah. I think that kind of makes sense.
Huggy duck.
Probably underneath this. See, the landing design that we had last time, I think worked quite well. I don't want to kind of make the same rocket, but even though you had some misgivings about the size of it, so we're going to hop down into one of these little tasty numbers.
There's no room for science station there, I would just point out.
That's a very good point. Okay.
You can tell that you haven't had your way around the controls in a little while. There we go. That's what you want. You don't want a decoupler there to throw that bottom bit off?
No, we're taking all this with us.
We're taking all this with us. I did have a decoupler last time.
That is a very good point.
We're taking all it with us, but do we necessarily want to bring all of it back?
So we'll put the little stack decoupler there. Wedge that in.
Come on, you're supposed to be the chief engineer here.
I know, but I tell people what to build, and then the skivvies go out and build it. That's kind of the way it works.
So on the skivvy, I get it.
Yeah, well,
I understand.
You back us into a corner, and I'll tell you what's what.
You're going to stick that sexy thermometer on there as well.
Doesn't weigh next to anything, I don't think, so it kind of makes sense.
Oh my god, that's minute. How am I supposed to click on that in the heat of the moment?
Well, just click on it when you're not flying towards the planet, like pointy end first.
I wonder what sort of scientific discovery you can get from having a thermometer.
no space.
We have learned that it is cold in space.
Where we'll go next then? I'm thinking that we do need some batteries and we need some solar panels on this as well.
Okay.
Just trying to work out whereabouts I want to put these, because we're kind of a bit limited on space and I want to keep things symmetrical.
We're not really limited on space. You can't stick them over the top of the science station. I know you don't like to because it doesn't look pretty. I mean, or you could just stick them on the side of the cockpit at the top, just above the parachute.
Well, as far as I know, if I was going to be actively involved in some rocket design this afternoon, I would have actually given it some thought beforehand. I thought, right, I'm going to have to design something to go to Minmus. My plan was just
that was just one you dropped on there, by the way.
My plan was just to come across here and take the piss, frankly, for an hour.
Ah, yeah. Well, you've took the piss so much. I thought it would be nice to see what it's like when you're on the mouse.
Yeah, the shoes on the other foot.
I can just sit and relax.
And how's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's not so bad. Although I feel strange observing and Kerbal's very much been my baby when it comes to not so much the design of the rocket, but certainly the control aspect of it.
Okay then. So I'm thinking we do need some solar panels.
You could stick them just below the batteries there, couldn't you?
We could maybe get a couple on there. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I don't think they're way next to anything either.
I mean, we don't presumably need to do much with them. Are these deployable ones, or
no? These are just flat to your
just
rocket.
flat panels.
So
that's okay.
Got to bear in mind the way that you're facing as well. So
just two, mate.
Yeah,
that'll do.
What I'm also thinking is, though, just because even though they're only going to be useful going there, because it would be a kind of good angle, like as an all-rounder on the landing stage.
I mean that's covering every angle as well, so no matter which way we're facing during the actual manoeuvre to the moon.
Even though
you're going to put some ladders
we don't need them, I think they'll be kind of useless there, frankly, and certainly the gravity on Minmus, I think you should just be able to jump and kind of flit your way up there. But I want them there because we've got them.
What, just there, just at the bottom?
Yeah, just at the bottom, because we've got them.
What the fuck use is that?
I just want them. I want to take them with me.
So what's this you're sticking on now?
We're also going to stick on... Actually, you know what? Fuck that is. We've got some little landing lights. That'd be quite good.
Ooh.
I'm going to take a leaf from your book because it worked very, very well with our slightly dodgy piloting skills. The little struts, or the landing legs being attached to girders.
The girders. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that. That was a genuine moment of logical thinking.
And it worked very, very well. That's something I've taken away myself. That's something I've learned. Where are the legs? Get the legs on. There we go. So I think that's a pretty snazzy.
Stick some legs below the science station as well.
Oh, of course.
For when we jettison that.
When we crash land.
We are actually designing exactly the same spacecraft, aren't we?
It's got a different lid on it. It's got a different little cockpit. That'll look quite snazzy.
And it's got cool new techie features like
solar panels,
lights and lights.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's kind of sitting in a very similar design, but really we're just refining a tried and tested method. I mean I'm hitting another kind of brick wall of my own playthrough here, that I've got stuff that I can get to the moon and Minmus. I'm now trying to look at interplanetary travel and thinking longer term in terms of the Geordie space program. Could be a while off yet. That's something that I want to see happen though. We need to get to other planets, not just other moons.
We're going to learn eventually. We're going to have to learn how to put refueling stations in orbit. That's the only way I can think that we could do a journey of that sort of length.
Don't worry.
We still have a lot of science we can yet pick up from the Mun and from deep space that we haven't really exploited yet. So there is a ways to go in terms of unlocking things on the science tree. But right now I'm just very much looking forward to onwards and upwards to the next interplanetary body. What's that you've stuck on there? Talk me through it.
What I've done here is I'm putting on some little RCS canisters, and my understanding is that RCS canisters, it doesn't matter where they are on the rocket, as long as they're there, it gives you some RCS.
Okay, well that'll be handy because this thing handles like an absolute pig.
This is my logic,
at the launch stage.
I'm just thinking of my pilot, you see. Maybe a little bit more actually, because I don't think they hold a particularly large amount. Of course, what this means is that you're going to have to be careful. You know how you like to turn that little green light on when you're taking off?
It's going to be a lot more sensitive than I'm used to.
Yeah, so it might be worth kind of leaving even though it probably sounds a bit panicky, maybe leaving the green light off until we're getting ourselves a little bit higher.
But I'll leave the SAS on, is that right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because, you know...
We need that.
We need that to stop us spinning wildly out of control.
Okay. Now, in terms of the launch stage itself, I was quite happy with the way that was working last time. Can't quite remember how we did it, but I'm going to try and replicate something similar. What I'm thinking, we're going to put 3 on, and then get 3 underneath here. There we go.
Okay, well, we've got a lot of fuel going on there. But that's cool. Oh, hang on. Ooh.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I don't know. It could work or it might not. But
just make sure it's not wonky.
It's not wonky. I don't design wonky. I don't do wonky.
Jesus Christ. You got enough fuel on there?
I think so.
Don't forget to put engines on them. It seems to be not wonky.
Now you remember last time I said, oh well, this seems to be working, but I wish it was doing it faster. Well,
we would be knackered if they'd introduced the budget aspects of this game.
Yeah, when they do, we are going to be seriously screwed.
Can be a bit fiddly this stage, can't it?
It can, but we can get there. Just a bit of perseverance.
Oh, you bloody had it there. You had it there.
There we go. See, just persevere. So
I'm nervous.
How many we got here? And that's 9. That's all right. It's doable. Probably going to need some struts on this thing. I'm trying to work out. I'd like some solid fuels just to kind of help get going as well. And I'm just trying to work out the most effective place to be putting them.
You haven't really left yourself much room.
No.
I mean there, but you really want them on decouplers.
Yeah. Because
they'll run out long before the liquid fuels do.
Right, okay then. What I'm going to do, get the old radials.
You're going to put them right on the outside.
Yeah, we're just going to have to make sure we've got a lot of struts. Struts are our friend. Do you know what I'm also thinking? Now, you might not like this.
I don't like it as it stands.
Why have one?
Why have one when you can have 2?
Yeah, double your pleasure.
Okay.
So let's just double check.
You might want to get some sort of support on them then.
Yeah. Bring it a little bit further down. I'm just having a quick look at the staging with...
yeah, I don't like the fact that the decouplers are first on the staging. That's probably not right.
It's probably the game trying to tell us something here.
So they need to be... Now they need to be just after the solids. Whereas you're about to stick them after the solids and the liquids. I'll just leave it to you and you can...
Okay, so we'll drop that in. We want everything at the bottom going off at once. So that would be those, and those. Alright. So bring those down. And those.
That's a lot of rockets firing off at once. Do you know what I think's going to happen?
What?
I think they're going to overheat.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think that... I'm not quite sure how overheating works. I mean, it's probably not something I should say.
They need to be in an entirely separate stage.
Yeah. So, hang on. These are the
That's
radials.
the ones you want, yeah.
So bring those down. So everything kicks off. We hit space and we eject the 6 solid fuels. And then
we eject the bottom load of liquids.
We want those in together. Because I want those.
I am capable of double tapping space. You don't have to necessarily put them in together.
I don't like the way that you handle space. And then we've got a little mid stage, and then we'll want those kicking in for a little final bit. And then we've got
and then
that's coming home.
Emergency landing.
Right. Strut this up to the 9s, and then we're going to be flying. Okay. That is definitely right, isn't it? Yeah.
That's not great.
It's fine. So, now I struggle a little bit with struts because I'm a little bit OCD. See, I don't like it when they do that.
No, we haven't got time.
We've got oodles. Look, we're fine. I don't need to get them entirely straight. I just don't want them too wonky. Put some down there as well. Fuck it, that'll do.
Of course it'll do. It's super.
Oh no, it won't do.
Oh.
I know. I put it on the wrong one. Lots of struts.
And do you think there'll be enough?
Well, we're going to find out shortly, aren't we? The other thing that I'm going to do is the outside ones as well.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Do the bottoms of them.
What a horrendously ugly machine you've made. Although it's going to have some power.
I didn't know I was going to be designing anything though, did I? I mean, usually when I do this, I can sit down. I've got little random drawings. They look like drawings that should have been done in shit, to be frank. But they're like the sort of scribblings of a madman.
Ooh, what are you connecting it to them for?
Just to kind of hold everything steady.
I'm a bit worried that when we decouple, they're going to pull the RCS thrusters off now.
They won't. I just think this makes a lot of sense.
I'm not 100% sure it does, but
if that
you're
happens,
the engineer.
Yeah, if it happens, it's on my head, alright? But come on, look at it. Look at that, man. That's the part.
Oh my god.
Right, now fly this to Minmus. Or, hang on, we'll have got
do you not want to put some girders to hold it in place? Oh, there you go. You're one step ahead of me.
Just bung these on the outside.
Now, we did promise somebody who helped us out with a bit of advice that we were going to name a ship after them.
Hang on, where's this came from? What's this?
That should be... Yeah, create a stage below stage... Hang on, what the hell has gone on? You've totally fucked this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, create a stage above stage 6. And drop them in there.
Yeah, I see. It's
oh, hang on, no. Is that not the...
They're the vertical ones, aren't
Alright,
they?
stick that in stage 6 and then...
So all of that shit goes off.
Yeah.
Then we drop them. We want these together.
Not necessarily, but if you insist.
Yeah. And then don't need that. And then we want these together.
We don't want the landing thrusters to go off at the same time as we release the rockets. If that is indeed the landing stage. So that's fine as it is.
Alright, as long as you're sure.
Well, as I say, we did promise a friend of ours who gave us some advice that we would name the craft after him, or a craft after him. I'm almost sad that it has to be this monstrosity. He deserves better. But this is the Redlaz.
Mark 1.
The Redlaz Mark 1.
Hang on, I can't even type using your weird
It's
gamer's keyboard.
Not a very good keyboard for typing with.
There we go.
That's for you, Redlaz, mate.
Alright, so save this bitch up, point it skywards.
Okay,
so,
pass me the controls.
Forgive the noise, we're using a tea tray with everything balanced on it.
It's not a tea tray, it's a proper bloody mouse and keyboard tray.
Yeah, tea tray. Oh, I feel much better now that I'm not responsible for the controls and now I can just start taking the piss again.
Well, let's select a pilot because we've retired Bob.
Yeah.
Because
Bob's a hero.
Bob's a hero.
Zombie Bob, technically.
Bilski. Oh, look, Desley. They're all coming back from the dead. Desley got killed. Desley crashed into the moon, I'm sure.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to start taking notes on who we kill and then we can't use them again, alright? That should be a new rule for our Geordie Space Programme. There's no point in not reverting flights if they keep coming back from more.
Okay.
Right, Bilski. Yeah, we'll go.
Here we go. We're going to launch this horrible creature that you have created.
Be fine.
Well, that's a good design, isn't it?
Right, Bilski's still alive, so I'll tell you what, see what the temperature's like while we're here, if you can find it. No harm in checking the temperature. Probably significantly fucking warmer than it was 5 seconds ago.
Oh, thank you for that, my chief engineer.
It's fine.
Let's log the temperature. We've got some science. I suppose we'll observe
Well,
the
while we're here,
mystery
we might as well complete wusses. Well, that was partly worth it. Science it. Science Junior. Fuck it. That'll do. Okay then. So, what we need to do, obviously there's a little bit of weight here. Weight might be an issue.
Wait, mate, I think we just need a few more support on it. Is that what you want?
Yeah, although it did look worryingly like the middle fell out. Did you see that? The way it happened, it was like the middle fell out. So, That did cause somewhat of a concern to us.
Would you like me to just add some extra struts and things to it? I meant to click recover. There we go.
Okay, yeah, I think what we need to do... I mean, another option is that I've seen done, those little girders that you use for the landing legs, we could put them underneath the thrusters and then just lower it down so it's sitting on them. And then they'll blow off as we take up. That could be something that would happen in theory. But yeah, by all means, get the old...
Get some
struts. The side girdery things on it. Find some.
It did look awfully like the middle just sort of dropped off.
It needs more support. All the weight's being in the middle, so if it maybe get some on those like innermost fuel tanks, those ones you're hovering over.
How do you undo on this bastard thing?
Yeah.
Right, let's just.
Oh no, I was actually thinking what we need is the ones with the red tips on them. Pardon the expression.
The red tips?
Yeah, the sidey ones. Yeah, those. We need a couple of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm just going to stick some more
just
struts
throw
on
them
these.
on. That's all it needs. The design is completely kosher.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not like I had concerns about this before it even got onto the launch pad there. You notice how I'm not OCD about this at all, which is strange because
it's making my right eye twitch uncontrollably. Be fine. Get some of the air ends on. That'll be more than enough. Right. So Bilski's still got a job to do. Ideally, if
I wish I could fucking zoom out a bit on this because it's a bit mental.
you hold down the right mouse button and push towards or away, it does it. The right, not the right mouse button. Sorry, the middle. If you push down the mouse wheel.
Ooh. Oh, you see, this is why you got the chief engineer's job and I didn't.
See, there we go.
I mean, that's just horrible. That's going to just break horribly.
We need those in the middle. We need to support that sort of central column. There's a lot of weight there.
But I can't go in the middle.
Now, it looks as though... Have you pressed the button or something and changed its facing? Because it looks as though it's pointing straight up.
I have no idea what's going on.
You're hitting the rotate button.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. See if you can wedge something in. Maybe even if we need to do... on the...
That's just going to break the struts.
It'll not. It'll be fine. They'll release.
Release.
Most of the struts will be fine. Most of them.
It's going to break off all those struts on the bottom.
It won't. It'll be fine.
Well, they clearly won't because it's going to shoot through and just snap.
Where you put it on there, put one on the other side of it to do the same for that side. Like get it in amongst that bit. Yeah.
I'm going to go on record and say that this isn't going to work.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We just need to hold that central column. If we can get that central column up into space, we're sorted. Now, get ready. Get ready.
I'm ready.
Steady.
I am ready and steady. Okay, it's holding.
Right, get it up quickly. Get the old air. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, the strut staging's a bit wonky. Press it a lot. There. Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
God save him. Oh.
Who needs God when
that
you've
was
got
Bob
me?
As well. That was Bob. No.
I saved him.
Fucking 3 times a charm for Bob. Yeah, quick...
Oh, this... Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more control you get from having that cockpit possibly as well.
And weren't my quick reactions good there?
There were. Your frantic hitting of the spacebar paid off for once.
I'm not impressed by your rocket design.
So, right, we'll give it one more shot, okay?
We'll give it one more shot.
Sort the staging out at the bottom.
You think that's the only problem?
I think, something just caught because it wasn't quite right and would throttled up and other excuses. Just literally get it all together.
Okay, all the releases at the bottom.
No, all the releases in with the stage.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, otherwise it's just going to drop like a stone.
Careful with your throttle. I don't think put it up to 100% either. I think put it up to maybe about 75, 80.
Oh, okay.
Try about there and see if we can get away with that.
I will try, my friend.
Certainly until the solids run out anyway.
About there?
Yeah, we'll give it a go. Whack on the old, the sass.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no! Oh, look at that! Look at it!
Okay.
Kick up your throttle.
I have now, yeah. Well, we're up in the
Well,
air
look,
now.
it's going way quicker than my last one as well. It's doing the same thing, but quicker. That's exactly what I was after.
Oh, it hasn't snapped the struts either.
Not one out of place. Look at that, man.
Okay, I will take it back. This may work.
If we didn't have...
That's a big N for me. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake, man.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
He can't die another time.
He'll come back again. They always do.
Okay, so this is going swimmingly so far. A little bit concerned about the transfer
that's not
stage.
too bad. I'm a little bit concerned that the legs appear to be stuck in. No, they work. That's fine. I'll just put them back in again. You're a little bit concerned about the transfer stage.
Solid fuels there.
Yeah, I've just ejected them, but they're stuck on with the struts.
Right. Slight hitch.
They'll
probably
minor hitch.
They'll probably not weigh that much. Now
Probably
that
not.
empty.
Now I'm going to turn the RCS on because I'm going to need to start my lean. Ooh, I love that lovely little effect.
It's like a soda stream.
It's actually very controllable. I'm only putting the slightest little bump in there.
Actually, the Geordie Space Command, we did actually take those RCS boosters from soda streams. That's where they came from. We nicked them from down Littles.
Oh, it's shocking that.
That's the way it happens.
My missus wants a soda stream.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really see the benefit. I think it's one of those things that we get and then never use, like the sandwich toaster that's been... Well, actually, saying that, the sandwich toaster's actually out at the moment.
Yeah,
I had a toasted sandwich the other day.
I can smell toasted sandwiches.
But that's probably the first time it's been out in a good 6 months.
There's a brilliant video on YouTube by Ashens where he reviewed Soda Stream. I advise you and your missus to watch that if you're considering the purchase of it. It'll explain all you need to know.
I had a Soda Stream when I was younger, and it was one of those things that it just never got used.
Do you want cheap pop?
I don't know.
How high were now?
We're doing pretty well. This is a good rocket design. I'm going to give you that one. The Redlaz is a success.
There we go.
So far.
If
If the bottom actually drops off. Yay!
Oh, look at that. I wish we could see behind it to see those bits falling off in clumps.
Oh, and look at that. We're only at the second bloody stage.
This is the transfer stage. You know, we've got to be a little bit careful with the fuel.
I thought we had 3 stages.
We've got to land. This is like what kind of our transfer stage. And then we've got
well.
a landing stage. But bear in mind that landing stage, when we're well up in space, has got some poke to it as well. And so does this. There's a lot of fuel there to be brutally honest.
Well, you know what? I'm really, really happy with this rocket. My chief engineer has done a damn good job. So let's add a manoeuvre node to get us into a nice, sexy orbit here.
Okay. Now, I'm right in thinking you haven't been to Minmus before. Have you ever tried to shoot for Minmus?
I did a flyby of Minmus once.
Okay.
Which was accidental. I was aiming for the Mun and missed it. And was close enough that I could correct my path and do a flyby of Minmus before I came back.
Okay, so the thing to bear in mind is, and I'm sure most people who are familiar with Kerbal probably know this way better than we do, but obviously the orbit of Minmus isn't equatorial like the moon is. You know, it doesn't just go around in a nice, easy to reach kind of pattern around Kerbal.
Well, we're going equatorial regardless.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for this time, although I think we're on a slight kink. I think was there a little bit of a wobble when we were taking off?
No, I think we're more or less level.
Okay.
More or less.
But while we're getting that sorted,
my orbit isn't going to be perfect here.
It's all right.
It's going to get there, but it's not going to be perfect because I think I'm going to shoot past the apoapsis.
It's all right.
Which means we're going to be a bit wonky.
It'll do. I'm hoping we've got enough fuel, but I think at the very least we might get a flyby here. I think.
I don't do flybys.
But it's Bob.
Bob's been to the Mun. He can manage Minmus, I'm sure. That's a lot of Delta V there, isn't it?
Oh, nice.
Nice use of the correct terminology for the first time.
I mean, it isn't a lot of it to be fair, but it was the correct term. I'm happy about that.
Well, you see, I'm learning.
Still got half a fuel tank here as well. I think once we've got the orbit, it'll probably take another burn sort of like this, I'd reckon, to get pushed out to Minmus. So I think we're probably going to have enough to get ourselves close enough and then have to use the landing stage to sort of like circularise ourselves and get ourselves down, unless you're going to go ballistic. But it's really, really hard to do on Minmus because the thing's fucking tiny. It's like belly button lint. It's so small, it's ridiculous.
Sorry for the silence, I'm just making sure the orbit comes out correctly.
Not bad, not bad.
A little bit ugly.
We're kind of pushing out there at the back.
We're just going to have to keep it like this.
Yeah. So we're going to come back in, but then we're going to kind of...
No, we're not going to come back in, that's fine. Right, so we're going to have to try and plot a manoeuvre node now, aren't we?
So we'll zoom out, let's have a look. Whereabouts is Minmus?
Minmus is all the way out. There's the Mun, so Minmus is a fair bit further away. Do you know what sort of angle I need to be approaching this from?
Fuck no.
Well, I guess I'll just put manoeuvre node down.
You want to maybe get rid of the old one as well, just to
keep
hint. Things high. Keep it simple.
So let's stick one here. I mean, if I did it the way that I got close to it last time, what I'd be doing is going to the Mun and then shooting from the Mun to Minmus. That's an option.
Sort of get yourself in about that kind of distance and then see if you can maybe move the manoeuvre node around a little bit just to see if it gets to anywhere near. Probably drop down so we're more on like the horizontal as well, because obviously we've got to take into account that Minmus might be slightly higher up or lower down. Although that's not bad, you know.
It's not bad, but
Minmus isn't going to be there when we get there.
Yeah, it ain't going to be anywhere around there.
Oh, that was Minmus.
Really? Did I get an encounter
there? That was Minmus.
Oh my god. Shall I just go for that and then correct when we get there?
Yeah, I think...
It's a fair distance away.
I mean, yeah, you can try and trim it once. The thing is, we need to get past where the moon is first, basically. We need to get past the moon and make sure that's alright. But I think we've got enough fuel to do that, and that's not a bad burn. 35-second burn.
I mean, we're a long way away from it, but once we get into its influence...
Yeah, then we can
think about correcting it.
As I said, I know that you're not keen on it, but we're probably better off trying to circularise and get an orbit around it before we come down, just because it's that small.
In this instance, I probably agree with you, if only because of the distance that we're going to be away from it. It makes sense to do things a bit sensibly. I'm going to have to start burning in... in just over a minute. Wow, this is really sort of skinny your teeth sort of astronavigation, isn't it?
We've went from collapsing on the fucking launch pad twice.
It's a pretty good coincidence that we got him into orbit into such a position that we only had to wait a minute before we had to start doing the burn.
We haven't had to worry about like the ascending or the descending nodes as well, like pointing ourselves like north or south, because that's when it starts getting a bit kind of like sort of head fucky. That's when it starts upsetting us. And I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. I don't know if this stage is going to carry all the way there.
We'll see. If it doesn't, we can always kick the lander stage in.
I think we've got enough there, because to be... You know, as I was saying before, we won't need a huge amount of fuel to get ourselves down onto Minmus. The gravity is very low compared to even the likes of the moon. Or at least it seems that way. I've only been there once. Interestingly enough, I did it with exactly the same rocket that I used to take to the moon, and I'm still confident that the old Nippleless Wonder probably would have done the trick as well.
Oh, I entirely agree that the Nippleless Wonder would have got us there, but we got all this new science, we got all these new sexy components available to us. It made sense to give it a whirl and create something new and super.
And you wanted to stitch me up.
Stitch you up how, mate?
Oh, that looks alright.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it looks alright. I'm a fucking fantastic pilot.
Don't know what all that gibberish is that's going on. We'll just ignore that for now.
I'm just wondering what sort of orbit it's gonna... That's the orbit it would put us in afterwards. It's going to put us in a very similar orbit to Minmus itself.
That's fine. That's doable. We can make that work. I think it's jumping. We must be right on the cusp of something, or it's concerned about maybe the moon.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite sure what is going to happen when we get there.
That makes all of it.
I hope this isn't intensely draining my CPU or anything, but let's stick a manoeuvre node just before the encounter.
Clear the one that you've got there. It's still not too keen. I would probably wait, maybe fast forward a little bit until we get past the moon orbit and see if that...
we're going to be nowhere near the actual moon
careful
itself.
You don't overshoot. That could be tragic.
No, I won't overshoot.
Because if we lose Bob out here, we're properly fucked.
See, we've got a long time before the Minmus encounter.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, it's Ewok here. I'm sorry to cut the video in such an abrupt manner. We realised after we recorded this particular play session that we left it far too long to upload as a single episode, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut it in two here and leave you on this cliffhanger style ending. Fear not though, Gonzo and myself will be back in the next episode where you can see our concluding part of the trip to Minmus in the rocket ship Redlaz. thanks very much for watching. If you like it, the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, all that bollocks. We love hearing from you. We love seeing people watching our videos. It's fantastic. So thank you very much for dropping by, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Cheers.